Hi everyone. I want to do this live and answer a lot of your guys' questions about testing, what kind of test, how can we work with people remotely. And so as you guys start getting on, feel free to ask your questions about what kind of tests are right for you, and we can just kind of go from there. So as I'm waiting for people to hop on, feel free to just post questions about testing and health and all that jazz. But my most frequently asked question is, what kind of test should I do? Should I do the blood chem analysis or should I do the hair analysis? So if you are not from Utah and you can't come to our clinic to get your hair pulled, or if you don't live near Temecula, California to get your hair pulled, then we can't do a hair analysis on you, because the hair analysis, you can't really ship it into us. We have to pull the root and the shaft of your hair, and we have to scan it within 2 to 3 minutes, because it then starts, the root and that living tissue in the root starts to oxidize. So hair analyses are fantastic. A question about insurance. No, insurance does not cover any of this. But what's really amazing about the hair analysis is it's fantastic for kids, because it's non-invasive. It's really simple. We can even pull from like eyebrows and then scan. And why the hair analysis is so great is because it picks up patterns. It picks up patterns in the body. It prioritizes like certain systems, and it tells us what we kind of need to focus on first. It has like highest priority to lowest priority organization of its data, and it gives a lot of information. So other people that would be really great for is if you are new to your healing journey, you don't know much about eating healthy, and you don't know much about eating clean, and you don't know where to start, doing a hair analysis is actually really fantastic. Let's talk about the blood chem analysis. So if you don't live near us and you want to work with us, we can do a blood chem analysis. We can send out a lab requisition form to you, and you just take it to a LabCorp near you, and they draw your blood, and then they send us the results. We then put it through our data, our little program, and it puts all of that data into functional ranges. I'll talk about pricing in a little bit, but thanks for asking, because I would have forgotten. And so it puts it into functional optimal ranges. And so if you guys can remember my stories from yesterday, and I'll post my stories today, it has like a red and yellow and green, like where are you on this optimal scale? And then we can go over that with you. The blood chem analysis it's concrete data, and so it's not a patterns test, right? It's concrete. It's like your TSH is 1.53, and then in 3 months' time it's 2.6. So we can see how things are shifting in your body. And yes, I will save this video, I promise. It will be in my IGTVs. So look in my IGTVs and not my posts in my Instagram. So blood chem analysis is really great if you are working remotely with us, and if you have been a little bit further on your healing journey and your case seems a little bit more complex, and you've kind of gone from doctor to doctor to doctor, and they say everything looks normal, so that's a red flag for you to get a second opinion. The labs that we check are extremely extensive, so there is this little nuance that if you go to gutsy.ch/labs. You can see the list of labs that we like to order. And if you take that list to your doctor, most doctors will say, you don't need this. And they say this is excessive. And that's because they are trained to dig in for the bare minimum, where we're looking above and beyond the bare minimum. And we're looking at the patterns. So we're connecting the dots with multiple systems. And sorry, someone was calling me. I hope I'm back. So we just dig deeper and deeper. And so if your doctor refuses to order those labs, we can order them for you. It's about 10 to 12 vials of blood. It's a lot of blood, but again, we're looking at so many markers, inflammatory markers and liver markers. And, we're doing like a CBC with the differential. And so we're not just looking at total white blood cell count. We're looking at the different types of the white blood cells and like their ranges and their ratios. So it gets a little bit technical. So in an ideal world, if people could do a hair analysis and a BCA together, I can get so much data and see so many patterns. But if you're on a budget and you live nearby, hair analysis is a great place to start with. the BCA, the blood chem analysis, it's a little bit more pricey. So you're looking at, I think, almost $400 just to order the labs, and then you have to pay the consult fee. So if you are doing labs, actually that I think it's like $380, but that's actually a lot cheaper than what people get from their doctor's offices. A lot of people have ordered those same labs from their doctor's offices and been hit with like a $1,000 lab fee. So the 400 is actually very, very, very affordable. If you have been on your healing journey, now these are really good places to start. And if you've been on your healing journey for a few months with us, and we are doing our monthly check-ins, and we're doing testing every 3 months to see your progress, and you're improving in certain areas, but other areas like hormones, we're not seeing improvement, that's when we will start looking for other testing. So we'll either do like an organic acids test, or we'll do like a SIBO test, or a parasite test, or heavy metals test. And so we'll go deeper and deeper and deeper into the weeds, just to look for why are certain things not budging. So to start with, BCAs are fantastic. Hair analyses are fantastic. If you start with the hair analysis, we might take you to BCA 3 months later. And then from the BCA, we might take you to like the Dutch test or something if your hormones are still messed up, but other areas are improving. So a lot of doctors like to do it this way. They like to do 10 different tests, charge you $2,500, and then overwhelm you with information and get extremely technical, and then start like prescribing supplements or medications. We actually like to start off really simple and try to train you on how to get the lifestyle down, because a lot of the time imbalances can be fixed just through lifestyle changes alone. And so we try to get the bare minimums, the basics down, like the mindset, the mitochondria, the gut, the liver, like those right there are so important. Anyone can work on that. And the labs and the hair analysis just tells us the degree of severity that they're at and how hard we need to hit with that. So I find that doing an excessive amount of testing in the beginning is just information overwhelm, and it kind of just leads us back to those 4 areas that I was talking about: mindset, mitochondria, gut, and liver. And so we try to spend the first few months just working on those 4, and then we'll go deeper into like liver, adrenals, hormones, and then we'll probably spend another 3 to 6 months just working on those, whether it's through like liver resets or certain protocols. But nutrition and lifestyle is very, very key in our practice, in our wellness center. So if you are willing to make lifestyle changes and mindset changes, then absolutely like come to us, let us help you. Ways to schedule. I am seeing clients, but you have to call the office to schedule with me. I do have other wellness coaches that are on my website that you can schedule with if you like. And I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say. So, any questions? There is a hair analysis location in Temecula, California. So I don't know how far that is from San Diego, but if you're willing to make the drive, we can pull your hair there, and they send it to us here, and then one of us can go over that with you. So again, the difference between the BCA and the hair analysis is the hair analysis is a beautiful patterns program, and it shows us priorities. It also tests for like EMFs, and it checks to see like, do you have dysbiosis? Do you have heavy metal toxicity? It doesn't tell us what heavy metals they are. It just tells us it's there. So it can be really crucial, because if it's showing heavy metal toxicity as a high priority, then we want to send you a heavy metal test. And then we want to dive deeper into that hole of, okay, how bad are these heavy metals? And do we need to detox you first? So it's really, really great. I'm going to put in my stories how to schedule, how to schedule at the Temecula location, because I don't know it off the top of my head. I'm so sorry. The hair analysis is $160. The BCA without labs, depending on who you are working with, is either $150, or if you're working with me, it's $260. But if you can get your doctor to order the labs, and then you get your insurance to pay for those labs, amazing. If your doctor doesn't order those, then paying cash for the labs would be about $375, $400. Is there anywhere I can do a similar hair analysis in Virginia? I don't know yet. So there's something I'm going to be working on, you guys, in the near future, where I reach out to other people across the country that are doing hair analyses. and I put them in a database so that you guys can find them and work with them. And I'm even taking it as far as to offering training for people that are across the United States so that they could say, I've been trained by Jeannick Roney. I also do hair analysis. And so you'll be able to find them in this database, and then you'll be able to see if they've been trained by me or not and what degree of training have they done. So that's a work in progress. I hope you guys are okay waiting for that. I'm hoping that'll be done by the end of the summer. And no later than that. So trainings are coming for other practitioners and other wellness coaches. It's just in the works right now. Let's see. Been using supplements and vitamins recommended by naturopathic doctors for 2 months for anxiety, depression. How do you know when you need meds? Trying to avoid. What else to do? That's very specific and would probably require like a consult because there's a lot of details that go into that. But one of my issues actually reading this is my issue with naturopathic doctors and my issue with alternative doctors is exactly this. They put you on supplements and they put you on vitamins. And I'm hoping that they helped you with lifestyle changes and educated you on those lifestyle changes because I like to use this example a lot. If there's a house that is burning down, you want not one hose to put that fire out, not two, not three, not like if you can get 20 hoses on that house, then that fire gets put out really fast. And so, but if you're putting like 20 hoses on this house, but someone is in the back of the house throwing gasoline buckets on the fire, you're going to get nowhere, right? So to me, vitamins and minerals and supplements, they're like 2 to 3 hoses, all right? Lifestyle changes, like food changes, taking certain inflammatory foods out, that's the equivalent of like 10 to 15 hoses, right? So if you're taking the equivalent, I hope you guys are keeping up with me here because this is kind of a weird analogy. If you're taking the equivalent of like 3 to 4 hoses of supplements and vitamins and stuff, but you're throwing tons of gasoline buckets onto that fire by eating inflammatory foods, you're not going to see a lot of progress. So if you make the lifestyle changes, which are ginormous, right? Like eating the right foods and taking your time, right? It doesn't have to happen overnight. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint, right? So we can practice eating healthy foods. If you're eating the equivalent of that 10 to 15 hoses, you're supplementing the equivalent of like 3 to 5 hoses, and you're no longer throwing gasoline buckets onto that fire, and the gasoline buckets being inflammatory foods, inflammatory thoughts, inflammatory people. If we stop throwing the gasoline buckets on there, that's when we're really going to start seeing a shift and a change, and that fire is going to come down. And obviously that fire represents the inflammation in the body and the imbalances in the body. So maybe you can tell me if your doctor or your naturopath did make lifestyle recommendations, because toxic food, toxic thoughts, those are ginormous. And I don't see a lot of progress when people actually don't make the lifestyle shifts. And it's actually, I will tell people up front, I'm like, this isn't going to work if you're not going to change lifestyle stuff. Like we gotta love the new lifestyle and honor the body's needs. And what the body needs is medicine from food, right? And natural foods that the earth made for us is literal like medicine. So it's really beautiful. It's nourishment, it's medicine, it's all the things. Sorry, let me see other questions. My hormones are messed up, but I'm period not being on time. What? Sorry, my hormones are messed up, but I'm period not being on time. I don't know what that means. I'm so sorry. Loss of hair. So here's what we would do for women that have hormonal issues. What I would recommend, first, let's do a BCA. Let's see which hormones, which adrenals, what inflammatory markers are there, especially if you have hormonal imbalances. Okay, let me start from the beginning. If you are trying to get pregnant, I would do a hair analysis. I would do a BCA, and then I would implement a program for you. And then we want you to follow that program closely for 3 months. And then after 3 months, we would do like a BCA, and we would do a Dutch test. And that Dutch test helps us really get into the thick of things and see exactly what's happening. So if your period is never on time, I would highly recommend BCA first and then a Dutch test 3 months later to see what's going on. Let's see. If you are losing hair, that's probably thyroid or adrenals or sex hormones. There's inflammation in the body that needs to get calmed down in order to not sabotage your hormones, because hormones cannot live in an environment where there's inflammation. It's just going to throw off their biosynthesis and their ability to do their job. I want to stop my birth control and take control of my body. Any tips? Just stop. You can just stop. And then I have a lot of free meal planner downloads you guys can do. Another really great option, you guys, this is fantastic. Like when I have people join the Gutsy Health membership and they start doing the classes and they start joining the Zoom calls and they start educating themselves and they start watching the videos and they start asking questions, they're becoming their own super sleuth and they're getting familiar with the lingo and they're becoming an expert on their body. And so when a lot of times what happens is when these members are a member for about 2 to 3 months, they will then schedule a hair analysis or a BCA with me. And by the time we get to their BCA, they are such an expert in their lifestyle changes and they understand the importance of mindset, mentality, and, mitochondria. Like they understand the lingo that when I start making the recommendations, it's easy for them. And they go from like 0 to 1,000 miles with their progress because this isn't unfamiliar territory. So again, lifestyle change. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a lot of educating and a lot of like wetting your feet and then coming out and then wetting your feet again and then coming out. You have to like, it's like dating, right? Like the first date, it feels uncomfortable and not natural. And the second date is better, and the third and the fourth. And by the time you're at the 12th date, like you're ready to marry the person, right? It's the same thing with like changing your lifestyle. Like at first these new whole foods are going to feel uncomfortable and weird. How do I cook this? How do I cut it? How do I prep this? Like, how do I do these things? But you'll become better and better and better. And again, the membership provides meal plans. It provides menus. It provides so many tips and so much help and so much guidance. And you can go at your own pace. And so by the time you're doing your hair analysis or your BCA, you're already such an expert that the changes I tell you to implement is like the worth of like 2 or 3 BCAs, because I can make a lot of recommendations because I know you can keep up. And so in an ideal world, people would start the membership first, start implementing changes, start practicing, start learning the lingo. And then after 2 to 3 months, they would do a BCA or a hair analysis. And then I would fine tune their lifestyle and I would fine tune their supplements and I would fine tune their vitamins and minerals. And then they make the changes they implement the changes I recommended. And then we retest in 3 months. And they're so far into their healing process after like 6 months because they know so much and they're not learning from scratch, as opposed to someone who doesn't know much, does a BCA, and then making the changes that I recommend is very overwhelming for them because this is all new territory to them. I hope that makes sense. You guys, if you have messed up hormones, it's because you have tons of inflammation. And yes, like I've done a bunch of podcasts on hormones. They're so important, but you gotta fix your gut first. You gotta fix your liver first before we can actually really get into the hormone realm, because your gut and your liver are so, so important when it comes to hormone processing and biosynthesis and packaging. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just looking at questions. Okay, so would these tests help to control my ulcerative colitis? Yeah, they would just tell us that there's inflammation, and there's a lot of recommendations we could potentially make for the ulcerative colitis. They could help us, yes. But I would probably want to like check for like heavy metals or Lyme or Epstein-Barr and look at like food diaries and that. And stress. Stress is huge when it comes to like proctitis, ulcerative colitis, like it's IBS. Stress is ginormous. So mindset is number one. New to the hair pull, what does it show exactly? I have some saved stories. I'll post those saved stories or show them in my current stories right now so you guys can look at them. So in Arizona, Natalie Portal, I think her Instagram is Thrive Family Wellness AZ. Natalie Portal, she does hair analyses. Natalie Postal, not Portal. That's an actress, isn't it? So does the membership cover specific needs and issues going on? It's a general platform. It's not a private like consultation. So it's learning about the general stuff of health and wellness, like when you eat food, what is happening in your body, why is it important to understand this, different types of fats and how they are inflammatory and how some are actually better than others. So that when you're in your kitchen, you can actually see, oh, this is an inflammatory oil, this is a non-inflammatory oil, this is really great for hormones, and this is really great for whatever. And so the Zooms are really great because people can come and ask some more questions in the Zoom. But the membership is kind of like the foundation. And then you can get more and more specific. So membership is foundation, Zoom is next. And then I would say like a consult, then we can get really, really fine-tuned and tailored. Let's see. Also, if you guys do want to wait, I'll let you, if you are ready to start learning now, you can join membership. We are revamping the membership and relaunching in a month's time. And so I've partnered with Gina Warfel, and we're starting like a second part to the membership where there's actually more classes and more stuff. So you get to pick which part you want to purchase, and or you can purchase both parts of the membership because more information, and like you become more and more and more of an expert to the point where we want to get you to a point where you don't need doctors. Like you can figure this out on your own, right? Or you just use a doctor for very specific issues, and you know what those issues are. So joining both, like buying both parts of the membership when it's relaunched in a month, like is going to be amazing because you will then become the boss at your own health. You will become the captain of the ship, and you're not going to rely on other people's knowledge to guide you through your healing journey. It will be yours. It's going to be taught to you through these classes and presentations. So that's it. I think, yes, go to my Gutsy Mom hair pull bubble. Yes, I walk you through some hair pulls. I also show you guys what the BCAs look like. I think it's under case studies or case somethings. I don't know. Let's see. I'm just looking at questions. I'm sorry. I've been eating whole food, organic, and healthy. I have a baby 2 months ago, and I've been having a lot of eczema since around 25 weeks pregnant. I also have preeclampsia. Hormonal eczema? I don't know, because we'd have to do some testing, unfortunately. That would be really hard to kind of come up on the fly with an answer. I'm so sorry. It would take some testing and, some case history taking and whatnot and discussing that. Is there a type of birth control that you recommend, or is it all bad? The pull-out method, condoms, there's non-toxic ones that you can get, non-latex ones. I forget what they're called, the ones that we use. I don't recommend any birth controls, no IUDs, nothing. They are all very, very, the copper one, like it floods your system with, non-bioavailable copper and can cause a lot of inflammation. And estrogen loves copper too, so it's throwing off your hormones. Oral birth control is awful for your gut. You never want to touch that stuff, and it messes with your hormones tremendously. I do not recommend any kinds of birth control, sorry. Do vaccines contribute to heavy metals in these analyses in our children? Yes, they can. Yes. Depending on if they methylate well or not, and if they detox well. How do we schedule BCA? So you can go online to Provo Health. I'll put that on my stories, and you can schedule online and order labs online. I'll show you guys that. And if you want to schedule your BCA with me, you can. And let me see. I'm trying to think. So the wellness coaches, there's 2 other wellness coaches that are doing BCAs right now. And then there's 3 or 4 other wellness coaches that are doing the hair analyses. They have been trained by me in the past. So yeah, let's see. I've been trying to avoid inflammatory foods. Thanks for your information. And Carlin, you're welcome. Clean products. Perfect. Let's see. I think I answered a lot of these questions, and now I'm just going to be staring in your guys' eyes while I'm trying. Have you found vaccines to be a source of heavy metals in these analyses in children? Yes, I have, unfortunately. Yeah. Let's see. Can you give me an estimate of how much? Yep, we spoke about that. I'd love to do the blood analysis because I'm out of state. This came out of nowhere. Okay. So yes, I will put in my stories. I think I probably didn't answer a lot of your guys' questions. I'm sorry. But hopefully this answered a lot of them. Let me go to the bottom, see if I haven't missed anything. I probably have, you guys. I'm sorry. Oh, what causes some people to not excrete toxins as well? If you're not supporting your liver through highly nutritious foods, if you have certain MTHFR gene mutations, if you don't sweat easily, if you don't exercise, there's a lot of things. But it comes down to like food and exercise and genetics. Those are the three things. BCA is blood chem analysis. Yes, thank you for answering that, Monkeys 3. Thank you. IV ozone therapy can help rid of heavy metals. It cannot. You want to use that more for like inflammation, and Lyme disease and like Epstein-Barr and more like infectious type things. We did do a heavy metals class that you might want to watch. That one's expiring today, and it's in my stories, the swipe up link to watch the heavy metals class and what you can do about heavy metals and why it's such a problem. You can order a heavy metals testing kit through us. That's all in that lecture, that heavy metals lecture on how to test for heavy metals and how to detox them. There's 3 ways: nutrition, liver reset, and the heavy metals the detox program. Let's see. So if you guys are wanting to, I'm seeing Martino, SHD Martino. If you want, you can call the office and reschedule your BCA with me. Just a heads up, my BCAs are a little bit more expensive. I do charge $260 to go over BCAs. The other consultants only charge $150. So there you go. So, and just to give you all a heads up, even though I have trained these people in the past, we all consult a little bit differently. All right. So they all have their own trainings, and they've done some of my trainings. So I do want that expectation there. So just so you guys know, I scheduled with my naturopathic doctor for an IV calcium EDTA chelation therapy. Have you heard it? So chelation therapy can be intense. So you just want to be mindful and listen to your body. We talk about that in the heavy metals detox class, because chelation therapy, if you think of a house and you're building a house with bricks, this is your body, right? But sometimes we build the house with bricks and with trash. And so we have trash amongst the bricks. And so what you want to do in an ideal situation is slowly remove the trash and replace it with a brick, and slowly remove the trash and replace it with a brick, and remove the trash and replace it with a brick. But chelation therapy, what it does is it pulls out all the trash, and sometimes the house like crumbles, right? Or it starts to get very weak. So chelation therapy pulls it all out super fast, and then you can feel really sick. So just a heads up, it's also very intense, very expensive. My father-in-law did 4 chelation therapies and ended up in the hospital for 3 days. He was in like a coma. It was really rough on his body. That's an extreme case. So if you're an extreme case and you have a lot of health issues and you don't feel like your body is nutritionally supported, and you feel like there's a lot of other issues that need support, I would support those areas before you start a massive chelation therapy. I highly recommend watching the heavy metals detox class. I'll put that in my stories as well for swipe ups. I did a hair analysis of my hormones. Should I schedule a BCA or should I take supplements and retest? So I don't know who did your hair analysis and what do they recommend, because I would implement the recommendations with whoever you spoke with, and then from there do a BCA if you need more aggressive recommendations. Remember, hair analysis, not super aggressive, but can help us find priorities, especially for newbies, right? People that are new to this healing journey and they have no clue what they need to do. The hair analysis is also really amazing. I had this incredible case where I thought, she's dealing with anxiety and depression, and I thought for sure, liver, gallbladder, gut dysbiosis, blah, 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 blah. And what actually showed up was brain health, emotions, adrenals, and there was something else that had to do with like head stuff.
And that completely shocked me. And it took me down this path of like, well, we need to talk about like trauma. Like, did your symptoms have, like, what was a really traumatic event in your life? And she told me X, Y, and Z. And I said, did your symptoms start right around that time? And she said, yes, I know the exact day those symptoms started. And I said, actually, we need to support liver, we need to support this, but you actually need to go and do some trauma therapy around it, because you're not going to heal until that energetic charge is out of your body. Like, your body is going to keep reprogramming itself for trauma, and you're going to keep experiencing anxiety and depression. So here's some lifestyle recommendations. Here's foods, here's coffee enemas I want you to do, here's some supplements, but try EMDR, try ketamine therapy, try talk therapy. And so she has this whole program where we're getting in charge of the brain health, the emotional health, the adrenal health, and we're supporting liver and stuff. So that is what the BCA can't show me. It can't show me those things. So if you are someone who's an extremely complex case and you want more data, I would actually recommend hair analysis and BCA if possible. And we wouldn't charge you full price for both. For the BCA would charge you the same. But what I've been doing with some of my clients is I only charge $50 for the hair analysis as well, because I just need to see the data. We don't need to do a report on the hair analysis. And so I'll take the data from the hair analysis and I'll take the BCA and I'll put them together. And that charge, that $50, is what it costs us to actually do, because we get charged for every test that we do for the hair analysis. We have to pay to use their system for each hair pull that we do. And so I would recommend hair analysis and BCA, and then I can take the data from both and put together a protocol for you and whatnot. Pretty soon I am going to be starting a coaching program where I meet with my clients. I'll take on like 5 clients a month, and I meet with you every week, and we go through... Sorry, everyone keeps calling me. And we meet every week, and you go through like mindset, and we go through emotional charges and emotional aspects around nutrition and healing, and we go over food diaries, and we discuss your case every single week, and things that needs that need to be met, emotionally, chemically, physically, and whatnot. Let's see. Is BCA a good first step before all the labs, or would you just suggest doing the labs if you can afford it? So the BCA is the labs. Sorry, the blood chem analysis is doing the blood draw and going over your labs. So I'm sorry I didn't make that clear. Can birth control 17 years contribute to ulcerative colitis? Potentially. I'd have to see some labs and see like where the imbalance is. It could have been a part of a cascade of bad events in your body. Could have been a part of it. It might not have been the only thing. So, all right, you guys, I will talk to you all later. I hope that answered some questions. I know I tend to waffle on here a lot, but there you go. Talk to you guys later. And I'll put all of the information that we spoke about in my stories so you guys can swipe up or watch some stuff. Bye.